What's up, Gator Nation? What's up, RollinwithCarlos family? In today's video, we're going to cover a rags to riches story of Cahron Wheeler. Sorry. He played his freshman year, but then got hurt and did not play his sophomore season. I'm going to read to you an article from Psalm 24/7 and then tell you my thoughts on the kid, look at some highlights, and then just insert the highlights for you to tell me your thoughts at the end of the kid. Let me go ahead and read to you the article, and we'll go from there. It's a rags to riches story. And this article is written by Brian Dohan of Psalm 24/7, former student manager to national recruit. How a 6'7", 260-pound defensive lineman, Cahron Wheeler, became a can't-miss target. After a breakout junior season, Cahron Wheeler football recruitment features some of the nation's best. Cahron Wheeler was there to help. His freshman football season ended early because of injury, so he and his family decided that student manager was the way to go for his sophomore year. He would focus on basketball. So there he stood, supporting Brooke Landville, Maryland, St. Paul football team in any way he could, from outside the lines, all while the inner desire to be on the field burned. He was the best looking dude on the sidelines, said second year St. Paul's coach, Neil Keenan. At 6'7", 260 pounds, it was easy to understand why. Wheeler then turned into the best looking dude on the field as a junior. His season ended with St. Paul's first title in 12 years and without any offers. But man, did that change quickly. Wheeler is now a national prospect. His offer list includes Ohio State, Georgia, Maryland, Tennessee, Boston College, SMU, Florida, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Florida State, Virginia Tech, and LSU. Everybody we've talked to, he's a defensive end, Keenan said. They all want him at defensive end. They feel like if he can keep his speed and add 10 or 15 pounds of muscle, he will stay on the edge. A couple of schools talked about putting another 30 pounds on him and putting his hand in the dirt at his size. But most of them want 15 pounds of muscle and keep him on the edge. A game-changing offer. The first coach Wheeler spoke to was Ohio State defensive line coach Larry Johnson. It was a week after the championship game, and Fast Track Recruits CEO Darrell Willis texted me, and I was like, "I'm about to change your life," Wheeler said. That was the only thing he said. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I looked down at my phone between classes and got a text message from Coach Larry Johnson, saying he was about to call me. That was November 21st. Johnson extended an offer. It was Wheeler's first. It's an exciting, overwhelming, confusing, and hectic all at once. Schools want him to visit, but basketball practice and getting off from work conspire to make trips difficult. Wheeler made 2 visits to Maryland for the November 22nd game against Michigan and January 31st for Penn State Junior Day. And he now is in the process of planning out spring trips as well as official visits. For the most part, all of them want me to visit, Wheeler said. I'm trying to set up everything. Of the schools that I've yet to offer, Wheeler said. High on his list of schools to visit is probably Clemson. I've heard a lot about them. Oh, handling the chaos of recruiting. Keenan is helping Wheeler navigate a suddenly busy time. He was constantly pulled out of classes, and college coaches stopped by to meet and speak with him during the January busy period. In 2 weeks, we had 26 schools come through here, Keenan said. He handled it very well. He stayed grounded. His main questions have always been about academics. When Wheeler visited Maryland, he did not get a chance to tour campus, but he spent time with Coach Mike Lockley, who extended the offer. I got to see his office, and there are a lot of trophies there, Wheeler said. It's one of those schools that is really in my backyard. I think it took 45 minutes to get there. Wheeler's basketball schedule afforded him time to make a visit to Penn State, which included watching a hockey game against Michigan State in Beaver Stadium. It's really like it, Wheeler said. I really liked it. They mainly talked about development and life after football. It was pretty cool. That was my first hockey game ever I've been to. I met all the D-line coaches. It was nice. Wheeler had 30 tackles, including 8 sacks in 7 games in the fall. During it is when Wheeler had an epiphany that a big future could be in store. It was how much fun I was having, and I realized nobody in the league could block me, he said. That's when I found out football might be my sport. What's fun for Keenan and why college programs want him badly is how much room for growth exists. He is in the beginning stages of learning technique, Keenan said. He's got much better throughout the year. You could see the progress. In game 3 or 4 is when he started staying low, keeping his shoulder free. All of a sudden it was, oh, I'm bigger than this kid. I can do this with technique. I think his technique has come a long way. Does he have a long way to go? Sure, but when you're 6'7" with a 79-inch wingspan in high school, things are different. For what he did in a year is amazing. Football is not new to Wheeler, but exploding on into the recruitment line is. He began as a quarterback and defensive end for his father as a 17-year-old in Perry Hall's youth program. He moved to receiver in 8th grade, only playing part of his freshman year and not playing as a sophomore made Wheeler's desire to get back into the sport markedly stronger. There was also prodding from Keenan. When they saw each other in the halls, Keenan would mention football. My whole life being around it and me playing it my whole life made me want to keep playing, Wheeler said. After every game that my dad was at, I told him, Dad, I want to play. Next step, spring visits and more growth. St. Paul's basketball season ends soon. That is when visits will take shape. Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina are expected to host him as schedule is flushed out. Working on improving football is not easy because of the time commitment of school and basketball. But Wheeler said that he watches football tape in an effort to improve his play. And while he loves both sports, he is a bit more fond of one. I say football. I can go out there and just hit. He said basketball makes me think a different way. Guys, this kid has a good bull rush, a good speed rush, gets off tackles, and attacks the quarterback a lot. And for being a pretty big man, yes, I would agree he needs to put in 10 to 15 pounds if they want him to play on the edge in college. But for being a pretty good big man, you'll see on tape, he bull rushes on the first clip, and he runs over the offensive lineman. Then he goes around the corner pretty quick for being a big man. And he has pretty good speed for being a big man. Like I said, I believe if Florida gets him, he'll be a big piece for the 2027 class. We'll see what happens with this. But Wheeler is truly a rags to riches story. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. As you can see, he's got many offers, but John Summerall and the Gator staff stay hot on the recruiting trail. Let's see where he ends up. I would say, since he's a northern kid, he might end up playing for Penn State, Maryland. But let's see what happens. Recruiting is recruiting, and recruiting never stops, especially in the nowadays of the transfer portal. So let's see if he's a commitment to Florida, or if he starts up north and eventually makes his way down to Florida in 1 or 2 years, or if he joins the 27 class. Leave me your thoughts on what you think of this kid. I think he's a diamond in the rough, but can turn out to be a beast. He's a beast in high school. But let's see what happens with the recruitment. I'll keep you updated like I will do with all the recruits that I've done videos on and the ones I'm going to interview during the summer series. Again, guys, I'm going to put a quick plug. Remember, there's going to be a summer interview series. So far, we have 9 prospects that will be coming on the channel during the summer. Times and dates will soon be announced. But like always, I appreciate your support. And like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Gators.